Welcome to Bionot, the heartbeat of tech in MENA. We bring you raw stories and sharp insights from the founders, investors, and leaders building the region's startup ecosystem. Today, we are doing a really critical deep dive into the playbook of Propeller, specifically their new Fund 3. And this isn't just about a capital raise. We're dissecting a $50 million fund that has gone through this radical 7-year strategic narrowing. We're pulling insights from partner Hani Azam on the firm's evolution and its absolute commitment to one very specific thesis.
And that thesis is global infrastructure software and AI.
Yeah.
So for you, the founder trying to scale, or maybe an investor trying to see where the smart money is going, this is essential. Propeller isn't just chasing growth anymore. They are betting their entire fund on one idea.
This is.
That the highest value in MENA-connected venture is created only by building these infrastructure tools for the biggest, most competitive market in the world.
North America.
North America. It's a total redefinition of what global ambition even means for this ecosystem.
Okay, so let's unpack that. Hani Azam describes Propeller's history as 3 distinct evolving arcs. So going back to the beginning, 2017, where did they start with Fund 1?
They start with a very clear, very regional mandate, which was pretty standard for the time.
Right.
Fund 1 was strictly focused on MENA B2B SaaS. They were funding local businesses to solve immediate regional problems.
So things like localized HR platforms, POS systems for the region.
Exactly. Tailored for multiple languages, multiple currencies. It was all about building for success within the Middle East, under that ceiling.
And it seems that ceiling started to feel a bit restrictive. What drove that shift with Fund 2?
Well, Fund 2 was this really calculated experiment. They started changing 2 things at once. First, they began narrowing their focus from just general business software to what we call infrastructure software.
The picks and shovels.
The picks and shovels, yeah. The tools that developers use to build and run other software. And second, they started looking beyond the region's borders.
So Fund 2 was the bridge. They were starting to look for companies that could actually outgrow MENA.
Precisely. They started backing MENA-based companies with a clear path to, say, San Francisco. Or they'd invest directly in North American companies from day one. It was a test.
A test to see if their expertise could travel and if the returns would justify that global focus.
And clearly it did. Which brings us to the full commitment of Fund 3. This is where the thesis gets, brutally narrow and incredibly ambitious.
So what's the exact mandate for this new $50 million fund?
It is exclusively for software infrastructure and AI infrastructure companies that are built for global markets from day one.
And when they say global, they're not being vague.
Not at all. They mean North America. Full stop. The regional B2B SaaS play is over for them.
Yep.
Their view is that North America just has the highest ceiling, the most customers, most follow-on capital for this specific type of deep tech.
That is an incredibly sharp focus. And for you, the founder listening, the fund is $50 million. They're targeting pre-seed and seed, and check sizes run from $500,000 up to $1.5 million.
It's a huge signal. They want to get in early on, very technical teams with a massive global vision. And this clarity isn't an accident. The whole shift was driven by 2 sort of kernels of strategic wisdom.
Let's get into the first one, the power of focus. Why was narrowing their scope so critical for their team?
Well, for any lean early-stage fund, the big challenge is deal flow and diligence, right?
Of course.
By focusing only on something as specialized as developer tools, they get compounding returns on their network and their expertise. They're not spread thin trying to understand fintech one day and logistics the next. They can build the densest possible network in one specific space.
And their team is built for this. 2 of the 3 investment team members are career software developers.
Exactly. They literally speak the language of the founders they're funding.
Which leads us to that second kernel of wisdom, the market mandate. Why North America? The MENA region is growing so fast.
That's the big question. And the calculus is all about scale. For venture capital, you have to maximize the potential exit. If you want a billion-dollar outcome in infrastructure software,
The only real path is through the U.S. market.
it's the only path. It has the highest density of engineers, early adopters, and that crucial follow-on capital you need for those massive rounds.
So they're choosing competitive intensity over what you might call geographical safety.
They absolutely are. And the analogy they use is perfect. It's like football.
Go on.
If you want to be considered the best in the world, you need to play in the Premier League.
And the Premier League for infrastructure software is the United States.
That's the thesis. You can't be a regional first player and expect the kind of outcomes that a $50 million fund needs.
Okay, so if the focus is that global, What does this actually mean for MENA-based founders? Are they still in the game?
They are, but the bar is high. First off, they have geographic flexibility. About half of Fund Three's investments so far have no Middle Eastern connection at all. They're just pure play global infrastructure investors.
But that MENA access is still a huge advantage. Their ancestral home, as they call it. Having Zaid, the GP, in Riyadh must be a game changer for finding those ambitious founders early.
It's proprietary deal flow, for sure. And when they look at those MENA-based teams, they're looking for three very specific signals.
What are they?
First, a crystal clear articulation of a global vision. They have to know the U.S. competition cold. Second, a product that is globally competitive on day one. And third,
The big one.
actionable evidence that they're already going after the American market. Prior U.S. experience, a sales pipeline there, or just regular consistent travel.
That's a lot of pressure on an early stage team. And to test for that readiness, Propeller built something pretty intense. Kernel Camp?
Kernel Camp is their ultimate litmus test. It's a 2-month, super intensive program in San Francisco.
And they have the founders live in a hacker house downtown.
Yeah, a deliberately intense environment. The whole point is total immersion for 60 days. They're trying to force founders to get 18 months of cultural and commercial learning in just 2.
So this is more than just mentorship. It's a pressure cooker.
It's a sink or swim exercise.
Yeah.
It's all about customer discovery, investor connections, peer learning. If you can thrive in that environment, you've proven you can handle the U.S. market before they write the big check. It's a really smart way to de-risk the investment.
I love that. So let's talk about portfolio construction. Even within this narrow thesis, how do they manage risk?
It's a very smart approach. They balance risk within the thesis. So they'll pair high-risk, high-reward moonshots with companies on more established, predictable paths.
And what does a moonshot look like in their portfolio?
The source mentions StarCloud. They're building data centers in space.
Okay, that qualifies.
That's a massive generational bet. So to balance that, they'll also invest in, say, developer tools or cybersecurity, where the market is much more defined. The thesis is still intact, but the risk profile is diversified inside of it.
That makes perfect sense. And it brings us to metrics. How do you measure success when your customers are so different? A developer versus, say, a corporate CSO.
Right, they're completely different. For developer tools, it's all about bottom-up adoption.
Like a consumer product.
Almost exactly. It's adopted by individual developers first. So you're not looking for revenue early on, you're looking for community growth.
Things like GitHub stars.
GitHub stars, the size of their developer community, how many people are actively using the free tier. They mentioned their portfolio company CodeMod. Its success isn't measured in contracts, but in its 30,000-strong developer community. That's the proof of product market fit.
Now compare that to cybersecurity. That's a top-down enterprise sale. The sales cycles are long.
Very long, 18 to 24 months. You can't wait for GitHub stars there. The focus shifts entirely to the founders network and go-to-market strategy.
You're betting on relationship.
You're betting on relationships. Can this founder get a meeting with a CISO, a chief information security officer? That trusted high-level access is worth more than any early product momentum in that space.
Okay, let's look forward now. Hania Zeiman calls this moment in developer tooling the intelligence phase. If you're a founder building in this space, what does that actually mean?
It means we're shifting from tools that help humans write code to tools where software is written autonomously or semi-autonomously by AI.
AI agents and code agents.
Exactly, acting as real collaborators on the engineering team, planning, writing, testing, deploying. The AI is doing more and more of the work.
But the market is flooded with code generation tools right now. So where's the real opportunity? What are they looking to invest in?
The opportunity is in making the process truly intelligent. Right now, a lot of these tools just create noise. Propeller is focused on the integration point, the tools that help humans and AI collaborate effectively.
That makes sense. Trust and verification.
Trust and verification. Look at their portfolio company, Pebble. It uses AI agents to autonomously find low-level bugs in Jira, write the fix, and then submit it for human approval.
So the AI agent becomes a reliable junior colleague.
A very reliable colleague, freeing up the human developer for higher-level problems. They're also excited about monitoring tools. As AI generates more code, You need new systems to refine the prompts and make sure all this new software actually leads to better business outcomes.
It's the nervous system for the autonomous developer.
That's a great way to put it.
We've covered a huge amount of ground here, from their regional B2B roots to the future of AI infrastructure. 2025 was obviously a huge year for them. Fund 3 launched, 6 investments made, Colonel Camp announced.
And 2026 is the year of execution. The big goal is to run kernel camp for the first time, to really test this whole model. They're all in on this narrow, ambitious strategy.
That commitment, that focus on being the best in the world at one specific thing is really what makes this fund a must-study for anyone in the MENA ecosystem.
The foundation is laid. Now they're just running hard after some of the most complex, exciting problems in the world, and they believe the best founders are ready for that global stage.
For more stories like this, subscribe to Bayanat's newsletter and stay updated on the latest in MENA's tech and startup ecosystem.